я говорю на русском или я говорю на английском и так далее. But just for the sake of clarity, I'm trying to direct this situation with Chinmay because we have sannyas ceremony at this time. And so for those who are participating in this, I'm sure you will participate in this beautiful event, which is run by Srila Goswami Maharaj at the moment. And I'm not quite sure what is my role in that, except being part of participation. And so just at this moment, I don't even know who directing Zoom. Who is coordinating this Zoom? Ребята, кто организует этот Zoom? Скажите, пожалуйста.
Махарадж, меня слышно? Меня слышно сейчас?
Алло. Да, слышно.
Пожалуйста, начни программу на английском языке. Махарадж подойдет попозже. Ты как бы начни.
Okay. All right, so Paramananda Prabhu is here. He's giving me direction to start this program in English language. And it is very auspicious time today, and this holy occasion of Gaura Purnima. So here in the temple room, we can see Vijaya Prabhu, Paramananda Prabhu, Bhakti Lita Titi, all the honorable guests. And from what I understand, Goswami Maharaj is engaged into giving a sannyas mantra to, what's the devotee name? Paramananda Prabhu?
Rupa Prabhu. Maharaj, Rupa Prabhu.
Okay, Rupa Vilas. You introduce please him, because I'm not familiar with him. I never saw him in my life. Maybe I did. So who is he?
He is the disciple of Srila Guru Maharaj, and he received initiation, as far as I know, in 1985. So Srila Guru Maharaj sends Goswami Maharaj to Philippines to give few Ritvik initiations to the devotees who've been waiting for quite some years.
I'm sorry, but reception very, very bad. Can you give a little better reception?
Hare Krishna. Wasn't working. Well, I'm not the technical guy. Maharaj, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
So Rupa Vilasi is a senior disciple of Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakak Sriladev Goswami Maharaj, who received initiation in 1985, and the initiation was also arranged by Srila Goswami Maharaj, who personally, on Guru Maharaj's instructions, went to Philippines to initiate few devotees, including Rupa Vilas Prabhu. So since that very moment, he was always there, present, trying to nourish all the devotees. And
okay.
Yes.
Paramananda, I'm sorry, but we cannot hear you. This microphone sucks. But anyway, what I understood is Rupa Vilas Prabhu has been initiated by 1985 by Srila Guru Maharaj, and he's a prominent member of Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Math. He lived in Philippines, and his aging time was something over 60 or 70. So he's a senior Vaishnava, and he was receiving today sannyasa from Srila Goswami Maharaj, which is very, very auspicious today and very special day of Gaura Purnima. And as you all know, Gaura Purnima by itself is Purnima, which means the moon, the golden moon. So when we have full moon, according to Vedic culture, stimulate not mind. That's why in horoscope and ancient astronomy, astrology, Purnima has a very special position because moon have full power of mind. So normally in full moon, people want to enjoy. It's enjoying propensity. But when we talk about Gaura Purnima, the golden moon of Mahaprabhu, we're talking about of divine joy of Krishna consciousness. So here in Thailand, we have full moon party where people get together on full moon and go crazy, dance, take alcohol and drugs. And it's very stimulating the mind. That's why this concert, when it's done on full moon, it has big success. That's why in Thailand they call this full moon festival, full moon party. When we do Gaura Purnima, there are many types of Purnima. The Buddha Purnima, other type of Purnima, there's Shivaratri, everything connect with astronomy. So it says in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Lord received the most auspicious time with all the planets and all the celestial conditions were excellent. So he entered, he born on this very day, very special day. So therefore we call it Gaura Purnima. The way we celebrate it normally, and very evening time, we chanting Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the part of Chaitanya Charitamrita which describes the birth of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then everybody's fasting. So it's a fasting day. So we not take prasadam. Why we do that? Because we're trying to keep our senses under control, but more or less until the Lord born, we don't take any food. So it's a fasting day, and it's also a special day to pray, to celebrate with devotees. And although it might be a little difficult to fast till night, when the moon comes, when the beautiful moon arises, and I look at the moon yesterday, it was very nice, golden moon, very beautiful, very active. Everybody feel joy, and they start big kirtan. And at this time, Srila Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, and especially Acharya Maharaj on behalf of Gurudev, would make nice presentation of fireworks and other stuff at Govinda Kund, and thousands of people all over Navadvip would come to join this celebration. So it was very ecstatic and very joyful. And Western devotees would stay on the roof and they would observe the beautiful fireworks. So we used to bring some flying kites from Thailand, you know, the one you burn. They do at Ganga Puja, a special Sankaranti, it's also a lunar event, and they do it at Sankaranti. And so when we would send hundreds of different kites into the sky. It's very, very beautiful, very nice, and very breathtaking. So I would say these are very important occasion, and we try to do. I'm sorry, I'm just answering. We try to celebrate this with open heart and joy, and the way we celebrate this is we feel joy from those who's enjoying this moment. So Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Sridhar Maharaj would say, this is a very, very important day of my life. So normally Srila Guru Maharaj is known as very miser. When we say miser man, remember Guru Maharaj was renowned sannyasi. He wasn't spending money left and right. But every time when it would come to Guru Purnima time, he would happily pay for fireworks, for the artists, for the decorations, and he would never spend that resources, that money for his own Vyasa Puja or any other day. But for Guru Purnima, he would also be super happy to, in the name of Mahaprabhu, to make a big festival and run wonderful prasadam. So at this very day, we normally take Anukalpa prasadam, Ekadashi prasadam, and the next day we are celebrating in full power. So I see that Bhakti Lalita is there. Maybe she can say a couple of words to all the devotees. Is Bhakti Lalita, Shrimati Bhakti Lalita there? Hello?
Maharaj, no, she is not here, so you please continue.
Yeah, I just... Okay, so there's no Bhakti Lalita. Okay, so we'll continue that. Paramananda Prabhu, how long time I have to speak? Because I have to understand my time frame.
Maharaj, another maybe 15 minutes easily, maybe more.
Okay, so wonderful. So during the time, devotees just about to finish huge Navadvip Dham program. Actually, there are different types of Navadvip Dham Parikrama. There's a full Navadvip Dham Parikrama, there's a short Navadvip Parikrama, and there's middle Navadvip Parikrama. Why is it so? Because there are so many divine places, and depending how much time you have, then you have that kind of Parikrama. And full Navadvip Dham Parikrama take about 9 days. And according to that Parikrama, you should spend 9 nights on each island. This kind of Parikrama we're never doing publicly because it's more private. It's very good in the month of February, just about spring or right after Gaura Purnima, but normally devotees do it before Gaura Purnima. And that Parikrama is described very clearly by Nityananda Prabhu to Jiva Goswami. But there's also a shorter way to do it, and normally we do shorter way. And there's a super short way, which means you not walk everywhere using rickshaw, you're using auto and using bus. So sometimes you're driving in Navadvip Dham, and that is basically to save the time. And sometimes you have to walk miles and miles and miles. So walking is very nice, but the problem is sometimes at that time of the year it's very hot. And if you came from some other country or winter country with minus 20, minus 30, and you are fully unprepared for Indian heat and conditions, of course, it's better to take rickshaw. So Srila Gurudev would allow us to take rickshaw. And normally after Gurudev's disappearance, we would go with a group of 50, 60, 70 people by rickshaw. And the way we would run Sri Navadvip Parikrama, we would spend more time on locations. So when we would come to each location, we would chant appropriate songs. There are many wonderful Vaishnava songs which we're all using, and we would find what would be the proper song for Bhaktivinoda Thakur place, what would be the proper song for Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, what would be proper place for Jagannath, what would be proper place for other places, and what would be the proper story. So normally we would read book Navadvip Dham Mahatmya, but while we're reading books, so many ideas, thoughts, and memories come to our mind because all the spiritual places and all the spiritual pastimes are connected, especially Navadvip Dham. Just like embassy in New York or Tokyo or Moscow, in that big megapolitan city, you have many, many embassies, like in capital. So considering Navadvip Dham is a capital of spiritual world, there's embassy of every holy place in Navadvip Dham. There every holy tirtha present there. And there's present the Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, 16 other rivers. It presents so many different sages in numerous times, because Navadvip Dham was not just a sacred place during the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In fact, during the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Navadvip Dham was, I would say, reserved for his pastimes. But before Mahaprabhu appeared, there were many great rishis and munis performing their pastimes and their activities there, including Vedavyas, who wrote all the Puranas. It is known that Vedavyas is known as Dvapayana Krishna. He is incarnation of Krishna, who came for a specific purpose to record all the Vedic history, especially great epic of Mahabharata. But after recording Mahabharata and all the other Puranas, Vedas, he was not satisfied. So actually, normally when we think Vedavyas record everything, we're thinking about Badrinath Ashram, Himalayas. But according Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, certain scriptures, certain part of his time, Vedavyas did in Navadvip. And why is it so? Because normally Badrinath is a place in Himalayas which is supremely cold during winter. So it's kind of close for the season from, let's say, October to April or some beginning of May. So we would say how long time took Vedavyas to record all the scriptures, and where would Vedavyas would be in the most cold time? Well, first of all, he's a divine mystic. He could have stayed there. But actually, according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Vedavyas came to Vidyanagar, and there he recorded all the holy pastimes, and specifically books such as Panchatantra, which means Narada Pancharatra, had been recorded there as well. Why? Because there are so many important instructions for Bhakti Yoga. It's been given specifically for Kali Yuga, because the Vedas are very complex, and Vedas are dealing with so many different science, including super science, spiritual science. But for the sake of common men like ourselves, and especially people of Kali Yuga, who have very low intellect, we think we're most intellectual and advanced. And actually, just because we're using social media and devices doesn't mean we're smart. And of course, we think we can use GPT chat and we can get all the information from GPT chat, but it's also illusion. Considering how much information in data, no Google can provide that. But also important things is like smriti and shruti, what has been told, what has been understood. So I can tell so many scientific things, but whether someone can understand them or not. So therefore, sages always thought how to give the highest, most complex knowledge to people in the most understandable format. So, and that therefore they would constantly recreate scriptures, not because they just want to redo them, because they thought in evolution of thought and evolution of spiritual science, we need to give the accessibility to public. Therefore, when Vedavyas wrote all the Vedas, he was not actually quite satisfied. And his guru Narada, who appeared in front of him by mystical descent, he very clearly said, yes, you've done an incredible job, but who will understand this? You're dealing with Kali Yuga people. You can't even understand how stupid they will be. They will not be intelligent. They will be very proud, big ego. They will think they're educated, but their education will be very limited. They'll be brainwashed by media, especially social media and politics, and they will be fully under control of their senses and emotions. So how you want to deal with this kind of people? This kind of people, no way they will understand. Then Vedavyas said, yes, you're right. I forgot. Kali Yuga is the worst time. It's also the best time. And why is that best time? Because in this very best time, Krishna is giving the most powerful medicine ever. So you would think that all the yogic knowledge and all the Vedic sacrifices and stuff, and holy places, but according reality, nothing works like this in Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, what really works is congregational chanting of holy names, because people would get together and they would unite by heart. Otherwise, Kali Yuga is the time where brother will fight with brother, and Kali Yuga, the description of Kali Yuga, when it happened, the sages start crying. So they start committing certain sacrifices. They want to stop Kali Yuga. But Krishna gave a specific blessing to his Pandavas, and he said, after I will leave the world and Pandavas will leave the world, your descent will rule piously in Dvapara Yuga mood planet for 1,000 years. So 1,000 years I give you time to prepare yourself for Kali Yuga. But after 1,000 years, when last dharmic kings will die and adharma will take place, Kali Yuga is going to get worse and worse and worse. But after 5,000 years, I will come as a son of Mahashachi, and as a Krishna Chaitanya, I will again burn the fire of knowledge for 10,000 years. And I will start Sankirtana, and I will make Satya Yuga of Parthas Kali Yuga. So we are basically entering a very special time. But after that, Kali Yuga again will take place, and when Yamuna river will be drowned, when Govardhan will be hidden by earth, and other inauspicious things will happen, Kali Yuga will become really start developing quick. But until there are 4 natas, 4 principal deities, Jagannath in Puri, Badrinath in Himalayas, and Dwarkanath and Srinathji, these 4 primarily deities of Dharma, until they worshipped, the Kali Yuga, Kali will not have so much power over human's heart. And why is that Kali is created? Because remember, Kali live where gold and enjoyment. Your enjoyment propensity is the seed of Kali. And Kali, what is his main interest? Kali's main interest to seduce saints. Kali knows common people are already my servant. I have no interest to seducing them. But if some saintly spiritual person will be seduced by me or controlled by me, then I will possess my great powers. So in Kali Yuga, Kali specifically attack religious people. That's why you have so many pedophilia. That's why you have so many breaking rules and things in religious people in Kali Yuga, because Kali has very clear target to attack so-called saintly people. Because if saintly people will do tapasya, if they will follow the principle, then they can conquer Kali. So Kali is very clever, and he plead to Maharaj Parikshit, because Maharaj Parikshit in Srimad Bhagavatam says he was riding horse, his chariot, and he saw Kali killing the cow, and he said, "Who are you? You dress like a king, but you acting like a wretched thief. You're damaging cow, the sacred cow, which is mother of religion." He wanted to kill that black, ugly king, but the king started crying and surrendered to him, and he said, "Please, please don't kill me. I'm just a Kali. This is my time. This is my yuga. I meant here to destroy the Dharma, and I already broken 3 legs of the cow. The charity has been broken. The ascetic life has been broken. The religious principle has been broken. And only 1 leg has remained, truthfulness." So truthfulness is one of the remaining spiritual principle of age of Kali, and you have to be truthful for yourself. So you have to be able to admit yourself that you are not anyone great. You have so many faults in your hearts. And you have to also admit superior position of Guru and Vaishnavas. You also have to admit the superior truth in spiritual reality. So if you will be truthful, then you can keep your religious principles. But what Kali trying to do using media, TV, always, he's trying to create impression for common people, but there is no truth. How is Kali doing this? By telling all these people right, these people also right, like these people have their own truth, these people have their own truth. That's why common people, they don't understand, they don't think truth exists. They think whatever people say represent, that is the truth. But this is not so. That's why Satyam Shivam Sundaram. So Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. This is the Panchatattva mantra. And according to spiritual principles, there is tattva, which is mean truth. And one who knows the truth in Vedas called tattvavadi, one who understands tattva, the truth. And Krishna says, Tadviti pranipatina pariprashnena sevaya upadikshantite gyanam gyaninas tattvadarshanam. So you will get the perception of truth by pranipat, surrender, inquiry, and service. Surrender, inquiry, service. There's 3 conditions by which truth can be achieved. But in modern world, they tell you, don't surrender to anybody, don't serve anybody, don't try to inquire from anybody. Just love yourself, accept yourself, make your own decision. So everything is people publicly been told is just exactly target of their ego. And when somebody's ego target, he's under full control. So Kali is a big demon who are dealing with our ego. Remember, our ego is kind of like artificial intellect, because it's low it's exploring and exploiting our mind in the low possible way. Therefore, the principle of chanting of holy name of Krishna is Chaitad Varpan Marjana. When we are cleaning our mind and heart by chanting of holy name. So when someone is accepting the holy name and start performing kirtan under guidance of Guru and Vaishnava with mood of service, through chanting and remembering Lord Krishna, gradually his heart, mind and senses get purified. And that's a very, very general stage. And only after someone is purified, his heart, his soul is purified, after that only he can have love of God. Without purifying ourselves, love of God is not possible. So therefore our teachers, they emphasize that we have our main emphasis on our association of devotees. And through devotees association, when we meet devotees, what do we do? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnusmaranam, Padasevanam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, so we Shravanam, we're hearing from devotees, we're Kirtanam, we're chanting with devotees, Padasevanam, we surrender to devotees, surrender to Supreme Lord, Archanam, we worship the deity, Sakyam. We understand Lord and devotees are our friends, they're friendly to us, they're our savior, Dasyam, we participate in service, and finally everything is based on Atma Nivedanam. So Atma Nivedanam is the important principle of surrender. So today, when Rupa Vilas Prabhu taken sannyas, basically what sannyas mean is full Atma Nivedanam, full surrender to lotus feet Guru, Krishna and Vaishnava. And while you do that, there'll be a shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam taught to you. So that lesson from Srimad Bhagavatam is a story about Brahman who took sannyas, and he was very respected Brahman from very high class. But after taking sannyas, he left his village, he left his hometown, and he started wandering around holy places. And as he's been wandering about holy places, he was treated by people different ways. Some religious, pious people treat him very nice, but other people didn't treat him very nice. But no matter who and how would treat him, he would chant one shloka, etam sapastayam paratmanishtam abhushitam purnatmayam maharshivi tisham durishyami durantaparam tamamukundam dinisheveva, which basically tell that I will overcome all the difficulties by being humble, being surrender, and serving my Lord Mukunda. As the many others before me, I will continue follow the footsteps of great devotees, great Mahajan, and I will achieve highest perfection. So that was the Brahmana mantra. And that was his mantra, and he constantly chanted this mantra inside himself, even when bad people treat him very, very bad. Some people found him and chained him like a dog on a chain, and he would not react. Some people would start pissing in his food, and he would not, aggressively attack those people. He would just be quiet, surrender, and going by the divine flow, and without blaming anyone for his troubles. So this is a very important principle, Tridadapi Sunchena. So without that principle, one cannot continue spiritual life, because if one he's firing ego, that's the biggest enemy. And a lot of us have big ego. So, anything, if it touch your ego, then Krishna is destroyer of ego. So through different circumstances, people will be ego destroyed. But when it comes to Vaishnavas, the devotees of Krishna, their mood is to give up their ego by serving Guru and Vaishnavas. So it says, Sarbupadi vinir muktam tat paratena nirmalam rishikesh seva ruchina uchate. So that means give up everything and surrender, and with mood of selfless mood to do selfless service of Krishna. This is a very important part. Therefore, when someone takes sannyas, his mood is, I will surrender all my life to Krishna and I will make Krishna dance me. I will not exploit and use Krishna for my personal benefits. I will give my life, my soul, all my energy to Krishna and let Krishna protect me, and I'm like his slave and he's like my master. So Guru Maharaj called this divine slavery, not service, because servitor can come and go, but the slave has no rights. Slave has no any position except service. But this is divine slavery. Material slavery sounds very unauspicious, and it's and it's very inappropriate. But slave of beauty, slave of love, just like mother can say, I'm slave of my child. So as the devotees say, I'm slave of my Lord. I'm slave of holy name. I cannot do this.
Srirup Vaikhanas Maharaja ki jai, Gita-govinda Saraswati Maharaja ki jai, Gita-govinda. Offer him a chair. His name is Bhakti Srirup Vaikhanas Maharaj, and I will explain that. Jai Srila Bhakti Avadhut Maharaj ki jai, Jai Srila Bhakti Raman Prabhu ki jai. Srila Krishna Prabhu ki jai, Paramananda Prabhu ki jai, Krishna Priya Didi ki jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Jai. And give this garland to Sripad Bhakti Srirup Vaikhanas Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Oh. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai, Jai Om Vishnupad Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness ki jai, Sri Gaudiya Mat ki jai, Mayapur Chandradoya Mandir ki jai, the Yogpit, Navadip Dham, all of Navadip Dham ki jai, Navadip Dham ki jai, Shrimat Chaitanya Saraswata Matabara, Udgita Kirtir Jayasrim, Bibrat Sambati Ganga Tata Nikata, Navadipa Kuladi Raje, Yatrasi Gaura Saraswata Nirata, Gaura Gata Grananti, Nityam Rupanuga Sri Kritimati Guru Gauranga Radha Jitasa Nama Shrestha Manamapi Sachiputra Atra Swarupam Rupam Tasyagraja Murupurim Matrim Gostavatim Radha Kundam Giribaramaho Radhika Madhavasam Prapto Jasya Pratita Kripaya Sri Gurun Tanmatosmi Ananda Lila Maya Vigrahaya Hemabdivya Chavisundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. So we're here celebrating this Sri Gaur Purnima, the appearance of the golden avatar, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As Saraswati Thakur was drawn irresistibly toward the wealth in the heart of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was irresistibly overwhelmed by the heart of Srimati Radharani. Love conquers all, even Krishna. Ye prayaso jita jito piyasi taistrilokyam. One of Krishna's names, Ajita, unconquerable. But here Brahma says, if you come in connection with his agents and your heart is touched by their love and affection, devotion to Krishna, like sparshamani, you will be transformed. And Ajita, Krishna, who's unconquerable, becomes conquered. And we like to note that when a devotee is defeated by Krishna, he's not pretending. He's like a father does with a child or something. He pretends to be defeated by the child. It's not like that. He's actually defeated by devotion. Right? That is a miraculous thing. So Srila Rupa Goswami, when he's outlining what is Krishna Bhakti, his book Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which Prabhupada originally was translating under the title The Science of Devotion, because step-by-step explanation, at least in the first part. And there he says, Kleshagni Shubhada Moksha Laguta Krit Sandrananda Visheshatma Sri Krishna Karshini Chasa. Klesh, it burns up all inauspicious, suffering. Subhada, the giver of all auspiciousness. Moksha makes liberation seem like nothing. I told Mukti, Mukunda, Krishna, who gives, Muktir Hitvanyata Rupam Swarapena Vivastiti. Real mukti is to awaken your actual identity, not just to get free from suffering. That takes you to the neutral position, Viraja, the sannyas sacrifice, fire sacrifice called Viraja Home. It's crossing Viraja. Mahaprabhu told, Etam samasta, according to Bhagavatam, the Avanti Purana, Etam samastaya paratmanishtam upasitam puravatamara maharshibi ahang tarishami durantaparam tamo mukundangri nisheva eva. How will you cross substantially? By doing mukunda seva, service, seva. He's saying sannyas is about seva. Right? And not receiving it, but becoming a exclusive servitor. Right? Dedicating kai mano baka, body, mind, words. The trivenu, three bamboo. Said it in the Bhagavatam. Trivenu. Venu means bamboo. Trivenu means three bamboo. Body, mind, words, kai, manobhaka. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the founder, Acharya of Sri Gaudiya Math and its branches, and the inaugurator of everything any one of us is involved in, it all goes back to him. Prabhupada would have never got on the boat and come, metaphorically speaking. So it all goes to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who wants to distribute the wealth from the melted heart of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So to the three Venu, three bamboo, he adds another one, Jiva Danda. And then there are four, and at the top, the prash, that's for cutting illusion, cutting through illusion, right? So the symbolic representation is there, but on a more substantial side, we're told, like Saraswati Thakur attracted to the wealth and the melted heart of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Krishna irresistibly drawn to the heart of Srimati Radharani. The supreme positive irresistibly being drawn to the supreme negative. Right? On account of her aradhita, her self-giving, self-sacrificing nature, the epitome of self-giving and self-sacrifice. He's irresistibly drawn toward her. And he sees in their interaction, he conjectures that I am Rasaraj, ecstasy personified, and she's Maha-bhav, Maha-bhav Swarupini Radha Thakurani. And he's saying, I think that what she is experiencing is not only greater than what I'm experiencing, but millions of times greater than what I'm experiencing. Right? 10 million is just a number. And he's saying, it's infinitely greater than what and I'm Rasaraj, Krishna. You know, I make universes through agents in my spare time. What she's experiencing is infinite of magnitude greater than what I'm experiencing. And he's the infinite, he can say that, only he can say that, and those who are his. Sajjan, that group who are his, he claims, they can also say it. And he's saying it. And I told, he's looking for an excuse to do this. And the appearance of the Yuga avatar comes. So he lets Radharani know his plan. That's why Guru is saying in the Arati song, seeing the transformation of Krishna, Shama Sundar and the Gauranga Sundar, she's smiling, a very like Mona Lisa smile. She's the originator of the Mona Lisa smile, the mysterious smile, approving, but a little mandahasa. But she's thinking, you won't be able to handle it. She knows what happens to her when she hears the name of Krishna, when she smells the aroma of Krishna, the touch of Krishna, and particularly what happens to her in separation from Krishna. She's saying, you don't know what you're in for. When she thinks about it more, she thinks, this is intolerable to me, that you will rub your lotus face into a brick wall. I can't approve of that, and I can't digest that. Because, no, but I must do this, I must embrace your position. Then she's saying, all right, ever the servitor, she's saying, I will cover you with my divine form. And if there's any bruising things, I'll take that. I can't tolerate that will happen to you. Right? So that time comes, that time has come, and as we told yesterday, he has public service, private life. Guru Maharaj said, I take my stand on common sense. Public service, private life. Public service, obviously the most valuable for the most people. Right? Bahiranga Sangha Kore Nama Sankirtan. You know, Krishna, 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 Nama Kirtanam. Because now he's enveloped by the heart of Radharani, and the radiance is the halo, and he's hearing Krishna Nam, and it's so sweet, it's making him sing and dance madly, and thereby he's distributing Krishna Nam to everyone else. You see here, Gauranga Mahaprabhu dancing. And after he does his duty, that's when Advaita wrote the mystic poem and said, all right, now you can enter private life. And with Swarup Damodar and Ramananda behind closed doors in the Gangbir, he's relishing Brahma Gita day and day. The Krishna-karnamrita of Bil Mangal Thakur. Jaya 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 Deva 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 Tribhuvanal Mangala Divya Namadeya Jaya 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 Deva Krishna Deva Sravana Mana Nayanamrita Avatara. The Nayanamrita avatar. The eye nectar avatar. And Gurudev liked this verse, Kosturi tilakam lalata palake bhakshastase kostubam nashagre namamuktikam karatale venam kare kankanam sarvanga harichandanam chakalayan kante jamuktavalim gopa stri puriveshito vijayate gopala chudamani. All slokas, what is that? Kosturi tilakam, the tilak from musk, bhakshastale kostuvam, kostuva gem on his chest, nashagrena, pearl, nose ring, and his hand, the way his hands move when he plays the flute, menam kare kankaram, sarvanga harichandanam, divine form covered with chandan of various types, kante muktavalin, wearing a necklace of pearls, or muktas. Is he wearing a necklace of liberated souls? Gopa Stri Puriveshnu. And when the Gopa Stri, the Braja Gopi, so he's the chudamani, the central jewel, and all these jewel-like Braja Gopis are there in full radiance, shining, sweetness, beauty, charm, etc. And he's the jewel in the center. Gopa Sri Pariveshito Vijayate, and looks so glorious. Victoria. Gopala Chudamani. Gurudev liked that verse so much, and even within the day or so of his departure, he liked to hear it. If I just go, Kosturi Tilakam, he just go into his world. So Mahaprabhu so much likes Karnamritam, Jayadev's Gita-govinda, right? Lalita Labangalata Parishilana Kamala Malaya Samire Marukara Bikara Karambita Kokili Kujita Kunjat Kutire. When I think of the verses from Srila Govinda Maharaj, they're almost all like this. Many preaching slokas from Srila Prabhupada, and Guru Maharaj is a mixture of mainly preaching slokas and some of these. From Srila Gurudev, it's almost exclusively these type of slokas. So it tells us something about his internal culture, that these just so easily and sweet roll off his lotus lips. So Mahaprabhu, having done his public service, Nam Sankirtan, then he goes, internal Antaranga Sangi Kori Rasa Ashwadan. And leaves Srila Rupa Goswami, the head of his line, the Rupanuga line. Right? And so, meditating on the lotus feet of Srila Guru Maharaj and his method, if you would call it that, for the selection of sannyas names, I came to Bhakti, we know, so we have to get two other names. Srirup, his name Rupa Vilas. Srirup is very beautiful because it means, Sri means Radharani, Rup means form, also means beauty, means Radharani, but sometimes Saraswati Thakur said if you could extract all the beauty from Srimati Radharani and personify that, it would be Sri Rupa Manjari, head of our line, but the line we aspire to, Bhakti Sri Rup. And Vaikhanas means Vishnu Krishna. Krishna is always hiding. It's a little hidden there. Vikrididam Brajaviduridam to Vishnu. Vishnu means God, sometimes. So, and other stuff. But this is more important. The Sri Rup. Sri Rup. Srimati Radharani and Sri Rup. Sri Rup Goswami. Because the first thing I ever heard Srila Prabhupada say in San Francisco, 1971, just the day before Rath Yatra, he's talking to 19-year-old kids, and he goes, Chaktva Turnama Shesha Mandalabhim Srinim Sadat Tuchavat Bhutva Dina Ganeshako Korunaya Kopina Kantasrito gopi-bhav rasamrita dilahari kalola magno muhur bande rupa sanatano ragurigo shijiva gopalago. So he's saying how they took the kopine, they gave up everything and took the kopine as he has taken. That means the undergarment, loincloth. There you go. So, in other words, they gave up everything, just wearing a loincloth to be polite. Like Naga Babas, if you've ever seen one, you've kind of seen all of them. You know, but here, like, it's like, like, okay, we get it. So, and the Babaji Vesh is only the loincloth. But the sannyas Vesh, there's only two parts actually. This is this Bahirvas, external garment, Uttariya, upper garment. This is not part of it, no shirt ever is, it's not. It's only these two and the kopine. What in ISKCON was often called Brahmin underwear. Right? So, because you're coming naked and offering yourself, you're not bringing anything with you. I told the other day, when Guru Maharaj took sannyas, being the eldest brother, all the property and everything was transferred to his next brother, everyone called Amar Babu. His name was Amarendra. Because when you take sannyas in India, you're legally dead. You're legally dead. So you can't own anything. Right? And we know it's another time, another place. I'm just explaining a little bit about it that I've understood. So, in other words, you're finished with that. And what does Gurudev say when he gives sannyas? He's saying, purush-bhav. He says, you're no longer a man. Purush means man, enjoyer, bhav, heart. He said, that's finished. You're not a man anymore. Right? Gopi-bhav. At the heart of sannyas is gopi-bhav, taking shelter of the gopi heart. And the way gopi vision, everything the way they see it. And we know those gopis descended as Rup, Sanatan, Raghunath Das, Jiva, Gopal, and others. Lalita, Vishaka, Swarup, and Ramananda. And it's very, why didn't they come as women? Because it should be obvious. Then there would be all kinds of abuse, more than there is, which is hard to imagine. Mahaprabhu, why doesn't he come as a woman and experience the heart and all of that of Radharani? Because it would be misunderstood. So he's a renunciate, and he's saying that Radha, Krishna, and their erotic, that's the ultimate achievement. That sounds totally bogus, right? So now they're not supposed to have anything to do, and don't even think about it, right? And he's saying that his ultimate aspiration, gopi bhartur padakamalaya dasa dasana dasa, is to serve those braja gopis, these teenage girls. So a renunciate, a full-blown renunciate, is saying his heart's aspiration is to serve some teenage girl. That sounds totally bogus. Like, what's wrong with this man? Doesn't he know what we know? Right? And he's saying, I want to serve and take the dust from their feet, from these teenage girls, silly. He said stupid jungle girls. But I don't like it because people, you know. So then say silly, that's what he meant. The way teenage girls are, and they go crazy over some guy. It's like that, but like at infinite magnitude. And this full-blown monk is saying he wants to take the dust from the lotus feet of these silly teenage girls who are crazy for Krishna and put that on his head. And then, like, you know, you need help, right? I can get you help. This guy, he's totally insane. He's talking about these teenage girls and how he worships them and the dust from their feet. He's a total madman. So Mahaprabhu says to Sanatana, Ami ekbutu batu tumi dutiya. I'm crazy number one and you're crazy number two because you're listening to me. You know. And Guru saying, and it's madness to others. Right? And Krishna religion is where Radharani is at the top. She's number one. So, and it's Krishna himself who says that, right? By coming as Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he's saying, being a devotee is better than being me. Take it from me, right? So Srimati Radharani holds the highest position. She's controlling Krishna with her love and affection. And her servitors, Lalita Vishaka, Ruparati, and our Guru Varga. So Gurudev would say, you're not a man anymore. Right? Now, gopi-bhav, you embrace that. But what do you have to, we hear Saraswati, who is Brahma initiated by? I mean, technically speaking, a woman. We say, Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, you know, all this stuff. And who initiated Brahma? Your Adi Guru Brahma, where did he get mantra from? Saraswati, a goddess, but Divya Saraswati, to be accurate. So you're saying, all these big sannyasis and they've on elephants and they're beating drums and everything. Fine, do that. I like Paramananda showed me some drumming the other day. It's amazing, you know. They should, and Madhva would do that. They beat the drums and challenge anyone, and then he'll rip them apart. Those are glorious things. We love it. Gets your blood going. But if we go back, who did Brahma get the mantra from? Divya Saraswati, Kling Krishnaya Govindaya Gopi Jana Balabhaya Svaha. And what are we told there? That he realized, like he meditates on it, he goes like, I'm a gopi in Vrindavan. Oh my God. What am I doing on this giant lotus flower? And I have 4 heads. And it says, so it was revealed at that time as gopi identity, but it said all the secrets did not come at that time. Then he realized, all right, seva, as Prabhupada said, work now, samadhi later. So you know, all right, I got some planets to build, manasaputras, I got seva to do. And all this wonderful reality, gopi-bhav, and that'll come later. No less than Brahma, that's his position. What should be our position? So, ahang tarishami duranta param tamo mukhan. So, Mahaprabhu was saying, Mukunda Seva, so with the danda in hand, engage all my body, mind, words, buddhi, everything in the service of the lotus feet of Guru, then can easily cross over. Samasvitaye padapalava pavam mahat padam purnima bhavam buddhir vatsa param padam yad vipadam natesham. Saying that insurmountable ocean of nescience, Devi Esha Gunamai, Mama Maya Dharata, insurmountable, Ma Mevaye Prapadyante Ma, you surrender to me, easily cross beyond. Not by, you can't do it by yourself. And what does it say? Vatsa Padam. It doesn't say that the ocean becomes like the water left in the hoof print of a cow. To make the point and be poetic, it said Vatsa. That means a baby cow, a calf. To make the point, even saying like, that would be too much. No, more like this. So how does something that is oceanic transform into a drop? I mean, sambandha, abhideya, prayojan, a change of perspective, how you see things, gopi vision, the way they see things under the guidance of our Guru Varga. So, and Gurudev said, everyone can appreciate Srila Prabhupada and his contributions, but to appreciate Guru Maharaj, that requires some special sukriti. But, when the infinite wants to make himself known to the finite, when the absolute wants to descend in relative circumstances, nothing can obstruct that. And every atom of every heart is being addressed and answered. So, reciprocated. So, in December of 1984 or 5, Philippines, Manila. 84. December of 84, Srila Guru Maharaj sends me on a mission, right, to the Philippines, to Manila. And I am told that on his behalf, as Ritvik, I will initiate 2 gentlemen there. One is Murahari, and the other is before you, formerly Rupa Vilas Prabhu, now Sripad Bhakti Srirup Vaikhanas Maharaj. So I'm not good at math, but that's around 39 years ago, right? Something like that. So for 39 years, we haven't seen each other in 39 years. Last time he saw me, I was drinking a coconut milkshake. And the place we were at, I couldn't help but notice, like, the roof, for washers, Coke bottle caps were being used. A nail driven through a Coca-Cola cap. That tells you the level of affluence. 39 years, he's been there faithfully. The Vani of Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada in his heart, coming out, nourishing all those who have the good fortune to come in connection with him. So, when he came here, I haven't seen him in 39 years. And he was explaining the situation and everything, and he said, I'm 68, and what do you think about sannyas? And normally I just, defer that, but I am listening to myself say, yes, I think you should take sannyas. Then I prayed to Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, and got some confirmation to do that. And I thought also, because incidentally I told, I'm no longer initiating. Right? And I thought this would be the nice way, as the last initiation I give, to give sannyas to you. And regarding that, I am directly empowered by Srila Guru Maharaj to initiate. He only empowered 2 people to initiate. Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, and myself. We're the only 2 who are directly empowered by Srila Guru Maharaj to initiate. And I'm not talking about on his behalf. Directly empowered to initiate. So, due to age and other considerations, health and other things, I'm no longer initiating. But I find that the most qualified person that I would send someone to is Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj, because he was handpicked by Guru Maharaj to be Srila Gurudev's assistant and served Srila Gurudev for so long. He's also a direct disciple of Srila Guru Maharaj. So I am transferring my power to Srila Madhusudan Maharaj. So anyone, I will be in the capacity of like consulting physician, means Shiksha Guru. And some are of dependent shiksha is the substantial thing. But someone says they hear my shiksha and they want to get initiated, I send them to Madhusudan Maharaj, who I have full faith in, and as a charja, because Guru Maharaj is saying, like, there are all types of Vaishnavas and appearing in various ways. He's saying, but when you're promoting someone to the public, it should be someone who's like impeccable character. Srila Prabhupada used to say, a Vaishnava is a perfect gentleman. Whenever I hear that, I think of Madhusudan Maharaj. So you tick off all the different things, like especially you're going to the public and saying, here's the person. So you want that impeccable character, faithfulness, sanction from the Guru Varga. And I know, believe me, I've thought about this. It's not like a whimsical decision I'm making. Been thinking about this for a long time. I have taken permission from the upper world, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, and Srila Prabhupada, to do this, and they're very happy with this. And I say, I am transferring my power, being directly, because if you don't believe that, I'll tell you this. I can understand why someone would be skeptical. So, but you gotta have heart. Srila Gurudev was asked if I could do Ritvik on his behalf. And he said these exact words. He said, he is already directly empowered by Srila Guru Maharaj to initiate. But if he will initiate on behalf, that'll be very good. So, if you can't accept, and it doesn't matter also. So, I just want to make sure, so that's clear. I'm transferring my power to Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj, I mean, he's already that, but for those who want from me, I send them to him. And Russian speaking, of course, to Srila Bhakti Bimal Avadhut Maharaj, we have a 23-year partnership. And all along, I have told my Russian-speaking disciples to accept Srila Avadhut Maharaj as their Shiksha Guru. This is nothing new. We've been doing this for 23 years. So that will continue. But I'm talking about the non-Russian speaking section who say, oh, we heard the Harikatha of Goswami Maharaj and seek initiation. Then Priyanana, my Russian secretary, Sulakshana, my personal secretary, they will direct people to Srila Madhusudan Maharaj. And he'll do that. Harinam, people want Harinam from me. I'm saying he already does it. He's already that in spades. But I'm adding this thing, that those seeking Harinam from me, mantram from me, or sannyas will be redirected to Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj. So the next person who wants to take sannyas, they will get, if they say, we want to hear the mantram from you as Guru Maharaj, I can do that. But Madhusudan Maharaj will be their sannyas guru, or Srila Avadhut Maharaj, as we've done up to this point with Srila Bhakti Sevan Hrishikesh Maharaj, Bhakti Amrit Mahavir, and Bhakti Asrai Dandi Maharaj. Did we give sannyas to anyone else? No, okay. So, and I think it's a very happy thing. Krishna, it's like you hand the baton, it's a relay. So you run your leg of the race, you hand the baton to a fresh legs runner, and you're still on the team. but you're like Gurudev would say, you kick the football to the striker, the one who's got a hot foot. Once at the Calcutta train station, I'm trying to get the train going to Navadip and Howrah, and as soon as it's 3 o'clock, the guy shuts the window and starts laughing. The tickets, with the other employees, like, he shut the window. He's not going to sell another ticket. And I lost my composure and started saying some stuff. And there was one, by the way, this has happened to me many times. And one Indian man, he goes, come with me. And he knows, like, we do this, that, and like how to get on and then pay, whatever. And we're sitting there, And I finally calmed down. And he says to me, Maharaj, my family, we have these deities. And they're like 400 years old. And it's in, where did Dinajpur, Dineshwar, something like that. Like where Bhaktivinoda gave the address. And he's saying, and we have a little temple there, and they're beautiful deities like this. And he's saying, and I'm getting married in 2 weeks. And I can't do the Seva Puja of the deities. So I'm looking for someone. And I'm just saying, you mean on the basis of what you just saw me do, you think I'm the guy? But I understand the situation, So he's saying, if you could, I said, all right, look, I'm not the person, obviously, but I may know somebody who is. So when I get to the mat, I know who's got the hot foot. It's Srila Bhakti Nirmala Charja Maharaj. So I tell him about it. And around 5-6 months later, I go to see him in his office, where it used to be by the front gate. And there's this man with his wife, the grandma, everybody's there, and they transfer the temple to him. Because he was obviously the person who fit for that seva. So, I can talk, but not much else. Whereas I see others, they have a greater capacity and more enthusiastic and involved, engaged. So and it's like the next level, the next generation kind of thing. Although, he's 68, so what are you guys going to do? No, you're already doing it, I'm just teasing, But there has to also be some hope, some prospect for those who are aspiring servitors and aspiring to dedicate themselves fully. So that's kind of it. I think I covered everything. Right. And this will continue. It's Gaura Purnima and afternoon, evening. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribhajaka Acharya Asatara Sata Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Saparikar Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda Sundar Jiu Ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Ki Jai. Shri Gupta Govardhan Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Vishva Varenya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Acharya Brinda Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Bimal Avadhut Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Sri Padvi Jai Raman Prabhu Ki Jai. Jai Sri Paramananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Jai Sri Sudha Krishna Prabhu Ki Jai. Jai Sri Bhakti Lalita Devi Dasi Ki Jai, and Jai Sri Pad Bhakti Srirup Vaikhanas Maharaj Ki Jai, Bhakti Srirup Vaikhanas Maharaj Ki Jai, Bhakti Srirup Vaikhanas Maharaj Ki Jai, Nitai Go Premanande. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. All right. Peace to the devotees. It's Gaura Purnima. It'd be nice if you get some hard. Oh, you see, you're waiting for me to go. See? He knows. He knows. See, he didn't start talking right away. He knows what the etiquette is. Die. Srirup Bhakti Srirup Vaikhanas Maharaj Ki Jai. He's like, go from there you go. Oh, yeah.
Describe everything. But since he told me to speak something, I have to do that in spite of my inability. So meanwhile, let me offer my respectful obeisances to each and every one of you. Dandavat. Well, I cannot tell you something about philosophy, but I could tell you something of what happened on my life that I came to this world, to the service world of the Lord. If you don't mind, you know, maybe perhaps you have heard about it, but I really want to tell you again and again this thing because it has given me life. When I was a kid, I used to read the Bible with my grandfather. You know, every day during Angelus time, about 6 in the evening. So I was playing outside with some friends of mine. He would put his 2 fingers on his mouth. He would put his 2 fingers on his mouth and whistle. That means it's a signal. You have to go home. Return to the house. It's about time. We read the Bible. But sometimes I try to ignore him. I don't know. Try to ignore him. I want to play some more. And then he whistles again. So that's a fair warning. So I have to go. So I went home, feed myself, took a bath, put the new clothes, and then sit beside him, and he asked me to read the book, the Bible. That was for many years. And I read very much. I like the verse there, wherein the Lord was asked by the Pharisees, "My dear master, which one is, you think, the greatest commandment of the Lord?" And Jesus said, "Love God with all your heart, with all your soul." No, it came on me. It strikes me. It strikes me very hard. So after reading the Bible, I said to myself, "How can you do that? How can you do that? Loving Him more than anyone? Loving Him more than my father, my family, my friends, how can I do that?" But the inevitable came. He died. He died. We separated. But one day, while I was sleeping in the afternoon, he visited me on a dream. as a ghost, something like that. And he talked to me, and he held my forehead. I'm leaving. I won't be coming back. I want you to be good. You understand me? And I was frightened. I couldn't even move. I couldn't even, shout or what, or cover myself in fear. I couldn't do that. He was really holding my hand like this. And then he kissed me on the forehead. And I could feel it. It's him. Then he left. I heard a very eerie sound. Soft sounds. It's gone. I still remember that. You know how? I cried the river after I lost him. I don't want to go to school anymore. I don't want to go out on the streets and play with my playmates. It has devastated me. And I asked myself, I'm going to ask God, why? Why has this to happen on my life? Why there is death? Why there is suffering? For what is the purpose? And I was told, you go to the priest. They knew better. You could get your answer. So one day I asked my parents, I want to be a priest. Oh, you can't be. I wanted to be a priest, I said. I insist. Then an uncle who is well off, he said, yes, I'm going to sponsor you. Be a priest. So I enrolled. I was enrolled in a seminary. Then there, while I was there, the head teacher once asked us, everyone on the class, is there anybody who would like to ask questions? I raised my hand. That is my purpose. I would like to know. Then I said, is God more powerful than Bruce Lee? Like that. No, Bruce Lee. You know Bruce Lee? Or Hercules? Oh yes, of course. He is. Right. How about being intelligent? More than Einstein? Yes. Yes, sir. You're right. He's more intelligent than Einstein. Or maybe perhaps a little, he's more wealthy than Ford and Rockefeller combined. Of course. That's a very good question. Okay. Does he look more, he's more handsome than Alain Delon? You know Alain Delon, Prabhu? Have you? During my time, he's a handsome guy. He's the heartthrob. Huh? Like Pierce Brosnan. Like Tom Cruise. Something like that, Anyway. So I said, is he more handsome than Alain Delon? And he said, yes, of course. All right. So how does he look like? Oh, he doesn't have a form. He doesn't have a face. And those who sees him dies. How is that so? So, looks like this man cannot answer me. I couldn't find the answer. So I said, come here. Sir, excuse me. If you ever had the chance to talk to God, I would like you to ask him that I have something that he has not. And what is that? I have a face. I have a form. No? I have color. How come you said he's full, yet he lacks no form? So it's only 99%. Anyway, I'm not satisfied with this. Sir, perhaps you're reading some other books that disturbs you, that disturbs your mind. Maybe, but I'm not satisfied with the answer. Sorry. So I give up. I told my parents, I no longer want to go to seminary. Because we spent so much for that. Anyway, so I went back to the regular school. One day when I was riding on a bus going to school, I saw near our school, the devotees, the Hare Krishna devotees. That was about 1970s, 71, I think. Then we stuck on the traffic jam, and I saw them singing, dancing, happily dancing. And I said, wow. That's all I said. Wow, I was really immediately attracted. Wow. And somebody said bad words, Oh, they are drug addicts. They have been forsaken by their parents. Or they are hippies, or they are this and that and that. So many negative things. But I didn't say this. I said, wow. Then we passed by. So I go to school. And that afternoon, I have to go home, take a bus, that same bus again, and going back to my house. But lo and behold, these same devotees rode on the bus that I was riding. And somebody sat beside me and handed me a bill. All right. So what is this? Is this your God? Oh, yes. And I saw Gopal, Krishna. But he's a lady. Forgive me. It's a lady. I want a male God. I don't want a female God. I thought she's a female. He's a female. Anyway, so I tried to look on the photos, on the handbill, and it says there, the address. Oh, the address is just about 3 to 4 blocks away from my house. So it's nearby. I can go. The one day I pretended to be going to school early that morning, and I attended the Mangal Arti. Then after the program, the person who gave darshan, he said, is there any question? Oh, it's my time. So I raised my hand. I would like to ask a question. The same questions that I asked the priest. Is he more handsome than Alain Delon? Is he more wealthy? Is he more powerful? Is he this and that and that? And all they could say is yes. Then who is he? Does he have a form? Yes. Then who is she? He's Krishna. Oh, wow. This is different. Huh? So I said, why makes him Krishna? And explained to me the all-attractive Lord and everything. Okay, maybe I'll think some other questions, but I'll stay. This guy defeated me, so I'll stay. Looks like my prospect is here. Meanwhile, for the meantime, so I stayed. Then I begin to be attracted by the chanting, by the devotees. I had read the books of Srila Prabhupada. Somehow I got some ideas. So what is Krishna consciousness from the books, blah, blah. And I saw the devotees. But my parents, they're against. They don't like me. They are close Catholics. They don't want. My first chanting beads, you wouldn't believe, it's a rosary. Rosary. They never have any beads there at the temple. So I asked my friend, what's that inside? Oh, you see chanting beads. Can I take a look? Oh, they let me see the chanting beads. Where can I find one? There's no more stock. So what shall I do? Then one day, at the house, I saw a rosary hanging there on the wall. Oh, I can use that. And took it off. And then I make my own bead bag. But I forgot to put a hole where I could, this finger. I forgot to put a hole so I could place outside my finger. Anyway, when I went to the temple, they were all laughing. Why? Prabhu, your bead bag is, out of this world. Yeah, it's not. That is not the right way. Come on, no? What can I do? I cannot find any bead bag around. And then let's see what you have there. Have you ever bought a chanting bead? I have one. Let me see. I was too shy. No. Let's see. So I took it off. They saw the rosary and they laughed. Everyone laughed. I said, what can I do? What can I do? I want to chant. Srila Prabhupada said, this is the chanting for deliverance. So I want to chant. So I made my way. I saw the rosary, so I used it. Anyway, this is the beginning. And turmoil, politics came in. And Srila Prabhupada came. I think it was 1974 and 1972, October. I remember it very well. October. I was there, but we were prevented to seeing him. He was billeted on a 5-star hotel, Intercontinental Hotel, but they prevented us to see him. Whenever we try to, we will always say, no, he's resting. Come another day. You cannot disturb him. He's busy. He said, blah, 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 blah. You cannot. Just cannot. How could that be? Just wait for him. He's going to the temple. You know, that time there is no cell phone. There is no, cell phone. And when we could communicate quickly. So we have to rely on the words of the devotees. Oh, Prabhupada, we heard he's coming to the temple. So we went. But unfortunately, we were not able to see him. He's gone. He left for Australia. Well, I was really sad. I wasn't able to. But I saw the Vyasasan. It's there on the corner. When nobody's around, I approached the Vyasasan and I talk to the Vyasasan. Will you kindly tell Srila Prabhupada, I like his teachings. Will you kindly tell him that, please guide me, help me? I don't know which way to go. My prayers were answered. One by one, I'm being defeated. But unfortunately, I don't have anyone to spend everything in his ISKCON. I'm very unfortunate. So I talked to the Vyasasan. Then we became the horrible Philippines. We were under Siddha Swarup. You know him? Ananda Goswami. Then we became horrible Philippines. Blah, 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 blah. So I begin to notice that the absence of Sika, the devotees, and the chanting beads that has been used, but rather they used the clickers. And I said, well, this is not what I'm looking for. I guess, you are distorting things. It's that proper way. So I left. One day when I was on a bus, I saw again these devotees jumping up and down on the streets, chanting Harinam. Then I went down. As I approached them, I saw an old friend way back. Oh, Prabhu! And we embraced each other. So where have you been? I said, I don't know. I don't know that this you have a temple here that exists. No? So I became a member. I frequently attend to the program until in 1977, I moved in. Along with my family. I'm married that time. I moved in 1977 at ISKCON Temple. Then I became the temple president till 1980. Again politics came in. Turmoil. So much disasters. So much. Hare Krishna.
Speaking of disaster, then I enter.
No, I was
So
telling
now waiting for the yajna,
yeah.
honoring the tradition. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Mahaprabhu, we know, would jump up and start chanting with Kesava Bharat, and then they come and then jump up again. They could hardly finish. He said, your name, he didn't give a conventional sannyas name, he said, your name will be Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Because what other name could you have? Krishna Chaitanya means Krishna consciousness. That's how Prabhupada translates Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness means Krishna Chaitanya. I have this for you from Priyananda's grandfather. It says Mostva on it. I'm giving to our grandfather.
Yes, Kijai.
You can have this.
You married me?
He's like, I'm running out of fingers. We'll call you Ringo. pretty soon. Hare Krishna.
Follow from you, Paul.
Yes.
What you say.
And I've got this coming for you. All right, Jai Sri Pad Bhakti Srirup Vaikhanas Maharaj Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Seva Vrinda Ki Jai, Vijay Raman Prabhu Ki Jai, Makanchor Prabhu Ki Jai, Sura Krishna Prabhu Ki Jai, Nitai Go Premanande.
Hare Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All right, Maharaj. And you can just borrow someone's shoes.
Пойдемте, все поделись, да? Конечно. Почему?